What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be Sunday. And I thank you for joining us once again for another live edition of the show. This is the Merv Brito Show, and as always, I appreciate you tuning in and joining us. We do this every Sunday. For those of you that have never tuned in before, my name is Merv Brito, and I welcome you. We do the show every Sunday, 6 p.m., so we try and get as many time zones in as possible. We do a live show from Goa. We've got a great team that helps us put it all together, and as always, I love to give credit where it is due. I'm going to introduce the rest of these guys, all these funny faces in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wilbert Cardozo goes first today.
Hello, I got a promotion.
You got a what?
Promotion.
It's been promoted. R2D2 has become R2D1.
D1. Billy, don't be silly, huh? Slap you. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Ajoy Barreto.
Hey guys, another Sunday, another fun day.
And I'm psyched. I am so psyched. We've got a studio. We've got a guest that I told you about last week, and I'm so thrilled. I cannot wait to get to him. But before we get to that, we've got Mr. Neil Rodricks, who's in the studio with no mic, who does all the social media. Thank you, Neil. And a gentleman that's not in the studio. Thank God you can't see him. He's got a face made for radio. The one and only Mr. Yusuf Mataji. Sorry, Yusuf, I'm just kidding. And if you'd like, you can edit this out. I saved the last for least.
Last for least?
No, wait. I was going to say the sugar in my coffee, the one I wake up next to, the cherry on my cupcake, our senior editor, the one and only Mrs. Joanne Brito.
Good evening, everyone. So happy to be here. And you've got some announcements, Merv, haven't you?
The slave driver.
Hey?
Joy, what do y'all call her behind her back? Tell the truth.
The Terminator with an eye for detail.
Yusuf loves her boy. Yusuf and Neil really love my wife, the one and only Joanne Brito, because she is, what did you call yourself? You called yourself the wordsmith.
Oh, yeah.
The wordsmith.
There's many other names I would call myself.
There's
also.
a couple of names I like to call you, but I can't say that because we're live on the air right now. That is my wife. And I thank you all, as I always do, for everything that you guys do to put this together. It's a fun show, guys. We don't take ourselves seriously. I appreciate, by the way, before I get any further, I want to say thank you to all the people that I have met and that have messaged me personally on my phone, but also the messages we get online. We get some beautiful messages. Guys, you know you're doing something well, something good. I don't know if we get a chance to thank each and every one of them, but I'd love to thank you and read out these messages. I really do appreciate all the kind commendations. What do you want to say? What is it?
Well, it's all the feedback that we're getting from people, because obviously it's kind of stirring up some interest. So, you know, there's people who have also objected to some of the things we're saying, and we wanted to give them a right to reply, but they haven't come back yet. But we're saying it's an open invitation for those people to come back to us.
There's a guy who calls himself the Saligao Kolo, by the way. I'm a Saligao Kolo, but this is another Saligao Kolo who took exception to us mentioning about the 250 crore for 250 cameras. Man, I don't make it up. I just report the news, and I want to know what people think about it. Just put it out there. We want to get to this, Ajoy.
Yeah, but you know what? More than reporting, you comment on the news.
Yeah,
your
no, we
comment.
do this every
It's
week.
just your opinion, right?
Yeah, because we're an entertainment show. We said we're not a news agency outlet or anything like that. We don't have big budgets for those things.
Yes.
We're reporting from reputable sources.
We do.
And then also, doing follow-up as well, because also the government came out and said that they had bought a lot more for that 250 crore, and we can share that also.
We reported what was put out. I don't know. We checked and we vetted this. It's not something we make up. And I'm not trying to be controversial or create a stir. I am just giving you my take on trending events, which we do every week. Forget about all of that. We've got a guest and we don't do guests every week anymore. We've got a special guest, and this gentleman is an absolute rock star. And I'm so thrilled and I'm so excited to get to him. But before I get to him, one more. We've got to wish a couple people for their birthdays.
Absolutely.
My sister Jackie, happy birthday for the 6th. Today is Mr. Kamlakant Fateh. He's our manager at the Valpoi Farm. Happy birthday, Mr. Fateh. And a buddy of mine from the basketball gang, a bunch of miscreants. His name is Johan D'Souza, who's in Australia right now. Happy birthday, brother. God bless. All the very best. These guys are making a trip, by the way. All the basketball boys are making a trip to Bali to visit him, and I'm worried about him. Oh, yeah, that's going to be ruckus, baby. They're
Are
going
they
to go
taking a basketball?
not a basketball. They take a couple other balls, but they're going to be meeting Lucy 69, which is Shuby and Richie's best friend. There's a villa. There's a villa in. You getting a call?
We're getting a call this
No,
early.
not now. You getting a call?
Yeah, we know what we can
Who is it?
call them. We're trying to find out.
Get them on and put them on hold, guys. I hope you have a great time.
Also, one of my best friends, Katerina, it's her birthday coming up on Wednesday, so want to wish you all the very best for the year ahead, and lots of love and good health for the year ahead too.
Listen, guys, this is an interaction. This is an interactive show, and I say this every week. We do this live. This is not recorded, edited, and then put out there. We make the mistakes. We have a laugh, but we do this for that simple reason that we can have live interaction from you. So if you're out there, we do this every Sunday, 6 o'clock. All our social media pages, I'm sure you're going to see them on the screen. Mr. Ajay magically does it behind the scenes. Get in touch with us. We're any online platforms that you get your social media, Insta, WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, X, all these channels on the screen right now. But we'd love to hear from you. We want to get you live on the air. Like I said, it's not recorded and edited. This is live on the air. Give us a call, 750-7246-246. And if you're feeling brave and you'd love to get seen on the show and you want to have a say while you're on the air with us live, give us a call on WhatsApp or send us a message on WhatsApp. We'll send you a link. You can come live on the air. Who was the caller, by the way?
We are trying to find out.
Okay.
And we definitely want them to call. So
I spoke last week about this gentleman who is, not just because he's my doctor, he is a brilliant person. He's such a cool character, such a great guy to speak to. He's been my doctor. He was introduced to us by Catherine Peter Mallam, right?
Yes, absolutely. They were our internet customers, and so they were recommending him extremely highly. And so we were very happy the day we found him.
We've been using him ever since. He is a gentleman that's based in Kalangut. He's a doctor. He's got a phenomenal practice, clean. He has everything. He's IT savvy. He's got everything, all your history on his iPad. He pulls up your customer ID and he knows everything about you, good or bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to talk to this gentleman, the one and only Dr. Lloyd.
Yay!
Handsome. Doc, I don't even know your middle name. You're Lloyd D'Souza, right?
It's Lloyd Joseph D'Souza. Yes,
The one and only Dr. Lloyd Joseph D'Souza. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is exciting. It's an honor being here. It's so much of fun. And a shout out to your team and everyone logged in any platform that you're here. It's going to be a fun evening, and I'm so looking forward to this one.
I've spoken about this many times because every week, Doc, we do a show which is topical. It's funny. It's our take on topics, but every now and then we like to highlight specific and important topics that I think would affect and help other people out there that people don't normally talk about. And the number of people that I've met that have said to me, Merv, you know what, you're putting stuff out there where people can interact, get in touch with you, but you're basically putting them out there that'll help any people listening. This week it's about health. I couldn't think of a better person to bring on the air and have a chat with, because what you do is so important, and people don't take their health very seriously. People start worrying about health when they get older. And to all the people out there, I've got to tell you, my sister beats it into me all the time about how I need to take better care of my health. That's the gentleman that's responsible. Whenever I get sick and I need help, I go to the Dr. Lloyd in Kalangut. Doc, I want to know a little bit about you. I've got loads to ask you about, but tell me a little bit about you, your background, your history. How did you get into this industry?
Well, basically, I think the inspiration to becoming a doctor has been my father. So my dad, his name is Dr. Tito. He's not living anymore, but he was the director of SMRC, Salgonkas Hospital by the airport. And he was such an inspiring person to me. He was the doctor who was available right from, say, 5 in the morning. That was the only clinic which opened where I've seen patients actually lining up from 3:34 to be among the top. And the OPD would start at 5 and go on. Then he would drive to Vasco, finish off, come back in the evening and restart at 7, only to wind up by midnight. So I think that's the kind of service which I've seen throughout my childhood, and that was the inspiration. If you ask me, is there any other profession that I would have chosen? That would have been a bouncer, because I really think I needed to do this. And I think I'm in the right place. I've been in clinical practice for the last 25 years.
Wow.
So it's general medicine, so we look after anything and any kind of health requirement that you have. And I don't call them patients. I think we have a lot of friends that we take care of.
It's true dedication. Somebody who can go 5 in the morning to late night and do this. They talk about the Hippocratic Oath, but that's somebody who's truly not just saving lives. That got you. Can we turn that phone off, love?
It's coming through on WhatsApp.
Okay, so turn the WhatsApp thing off. I know people are trying to get in touch with us. We'll get them on the air. Doc, I got to ask you. You a Kalangut boy?
Yes.
Born and raised in Kalangut?
Yes. In fact, dad and mom both are originally from Goa, and they're just about a kilometer apart. So both their ancestral homes are in Kalangut.
Okay. Mom's name. You mentioned dad's Tito.
Yes.
What's mom's name?
She's Maria. She was Maria Helena Aguiar before getting married, and now then she transformed after getting married. She was converted.
Maria Helena. There's a song about Maria Helena.
Yes.
You're married. You've got a beautiful wife and a couple of lovely daughters, right?
Yes, Nadia. We're married for 20 years now. So she's a dental surgeon. She's an orthodontist, and I think the doctor dental team has hit it out very well. We have a joint venture running in Kalangut, and I think we did good for a couple working in the same place. Can be a challenge sometimes. We see each other at home, and then we walk to the clinic, and there we are facing each other for the rest of the day, only to catch up again at home. But I think it's hitting out well, because we do have a lot of common things that we like to do. And I've got 2 lovely, darling daughters. The elder one is Athena, who is pursuing law, and the younger one is Annalise. So she's in the 10th standard.
Wow. You listen. You mentioned you've been practicing medicine for 25 years. You don't look. What did you start when you were 15? You look very young.
Well, if you ask Nadia this question,
They're the girls, by the way.
Yes. And if Nadia would be asked this question, she always says, Lloyd, there's some kind of fountain that you and your mom have been drinking from. Well, I think it's just working on your health, and I would like to speak about this as we go along.
Absolutely.
You don't need to really hit the gym or been popping pills for that. There is a lot of free stuff that you can do actually to keep yourself good and healthy.
We've got beautiful pictures of your wife and your 2 beautiful girls on the screen right now. How old are the daughters?
The elder Athena is 20, and Annalise is 13. She'll be 14 now. Yeah.
You do. I'm not kidding about the fact that you do look very, very young. You're going to celebrate your 50th birthday in a week.
Oh yes, it's coming very, very quick.
What day is that going to be? What day?
It's going to be a week from today. It's on the 23rd. Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely send a shout out to you, but happy birthday in advance.
Thank you so much.
I'm not, like I said, I love to talk about good things and things that could potentially help people. You've got a practice that we've been using now for a couple of years. And I love the fact that it's clean. It is right close to where we are. It's very reasonably priced. I love the fact that you're antibiotics and all the good stuff. You're like a holistic. You listen. You'll do all your basic tests. You listen, and then you'll give medication. And if it has to get to the next level, I love the fact that you say if in 3, 5, 7 days it's not better, then you go into the more serious stuff, which I love. And I'm a big proponent of. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of doctors that just give you antibiotics. Here you go, and get better and come back. I love you starting at ground level. You hear, you know what's going on, and then you basically will escalate it rather than just take the pink pills, take an injection, and you'll be fine. Your practice has been around in Collingwood for how long?
Now, we had another center which started in 2001.
Yeah.
So we were there for quite some years. And then later on, we shifted to our new premises here. So when we were designing this new clinic, we came up with this experience to give the patient a feeling of not being in a clinic. So if you walk into a place, the whole concept was done on life. So there's a lot of greenery, a lot of leaves, a lot of designs, a lot of bright colors. You won't find those dark colors. There's a lot of music in the background. Even for me, I need to have the little jazz right through the day to have me going. And when a patient walks into the clinic, it is for the first 2 to 3 minutes, you're not telling me your problem yet. We're still speaking about how you did last week and how you're doing today, and get them settled, comfortable. And I think that's when we start off dealing with it, because I truly believe today holistic treatment is not an option, it is a right. So I truly believe when we're talking about treating holistically, we're talking about, it's like a dance partner. When you're talking about health, your heart or your body and your brain work together. Your mental health and physical health work together. So in a dance, if one partner stumbles, the other one is going to as well. So I think it's very important to work with mental health as a part of physical health, because that's what has created such an increase in cases like diabetes and hypertension over the last 10 to 15 years, and most of it is attributed to lifestyle.
Lifestyle. I love the fact that you mentioned holistic, but lifestyle, your habit. There's people, and I said this already, but people don't take health very, very seriously. When you're young, you're unbeatable, unbreakable. You're tough as nails. You don't really care about it. And when you get older, as you get older, you take more care of your health. I've got one of my colleagues in one of my staff in the office has had heartburn, and that's another thing that people don't now with social media, with the internet. I can look up symptoms and find a cure, but it's important to actually get to the root of a lot of these problems. She's been suffering for months, and I said, listen, Sanchita, go to the doctor, figure it out, take a blood test, urinalysis, whatever, but figure out what's causing this, because it's not going to go away. You can take all the medication you want. Doc, why don't people take health, obviously when they're younger, they don't take it as seriously, and go to doctors and visit doctors and get these problems fixed? They're so easy to fix. What would be your advice to people to take better care of their health?
Personally, I feel people take serious about their talk serious about their health only after an incident happens. Today, preventive healthcare is almost a vague term in air. If I try to tell you, you need to do some tests before you fall sick, you will think twice. Okay, so we're having so many preventive checkup packages available in so many centers at the moment. It doesn't take, you will end up servicing your bike every year. Your car will go for a service once a year. And if I ask you, when is the last you've got yourself checked? We are in a country where life has no value. If you are driving a scooter by the road and if a cop stops you, you don't have your insurance for your bike, you'll be getting a challan. Yeah. Would the cop ask you, is your life insured? If you're life insured, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But if your bike or your car or your pollution control thing is not done, you are ready to get a fine. So really, personal care, I think there are too many people to take life seriously in a country, and you've seen it all around, how safety is really taken into concern. But I think preventive care would be the way, and I really push, this is the way I work. Yeah. My working style is trying to beat things before they happen. Proactive. And I do try to work on that, and we're still working, and I see the change happening. A lot of patients are moving towards preventive healthcare.
Brilliant advice. Proactivity. Yeah? You can prevent a lot of problems before they happen. Just regular maintenance. I never understood on an airplane when they would say to people in time of a crash, you put your own oxygen mask on before you take care of the kids. If you don't take care of your own health, you can't take care of anybody else, Joanne.
That's absolutely right. And I was going to say there's a couple of points I wanted to ask, because I was reading last week that there's so many more people from India that are coming back as medical tourists as well these days, because obviously India's exported a lot of practitioners overseas, as well as many people living overseas, doing different kinds of jobs. They're coming back home for healthcare because they feel it's more affordable. Have you witnessed that? Have you got any kind of personal stories or any stories you want to share on that?
As far as professionals being abroad, I've got quite a few friends of mine who are abroad, but they are doing quite well because most of them are seniors who have well established themselves out there. The crisis has begun more in recent times. Okay, those who have been traveling in the last decade, there has been an issue with that. There's been a bit of an imbalance in job opportunities,
Right.
and that's what resulted in a lot of people coming back. We do need professionals out here as well. The only issue which I have personally felt as a practitioner out here is we are not given a free hand to decide on how health goes. I think it should be a kind of a decision where the health people who are in health decide what happens with health.
Yeah.
The government would probably make decisions which are taken, of course, with interest according to what they feel, but many rules and regulations are actually put in place which are not very healthy for free kind of clinical practice. So I would rather make it easier. We're having some new rules coming up with the new Clinical Establishment Act and stuff coming in. So hopefully with this it gets better, but hopefully we can get we have deficit of doctors here as well, and I think people coming back would be a good thing if you work in the right way and you kind of work around it.
Absolutely, because I mean that health act that you're talking about, I'd love you to mention a little bit more around that as well, because I've also got another question, because I've never known anything like this before I came to India, is that people say, oh, I'm not feeling well, I went to the doctor, and then you'll say, so what happened? Oh, they gave me an injection. And then I'll say, so what did they inject into you? Do you know? Oh, no. Okay, so I'm always thinking, is this some kind of placebo, or are there some meds that are going in there? Because people just don't seem to ask the right questions.
It happens all the time, doesn't it?
I know, and I've never heard it before I was here.
What did the doctor give you? He gave me pink tablets and gave me an injection. Really? When you go to the doctor, what do you get? How do you get so fit, dude? You look so healthy. Huh? Alcohol, Marek, has you?
No, I don't drink.
Doc, people don't take it, and I wasn't kidding about this. I am a big proponent of, my sister Paula in the States is always giving me tablets and advice and do this and that, take magnesium for your bones, and you do, I love her to bits. And I know that your health, if you're not going to take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So not just physical health, your dental health, your emotional, there's loads of stuff that people need to genuinely do proactively to maintain a healthy body. I love the fact you mentioned holistic. Explain about holistic medicine, by the way.
Now, if you ask me a quick fix to stay healthy, okay, there are three things. There's just three things I would like to stress on. Number one, make sure you're at least doing some activity where you're getting your heart racing a bit for about 90 to 120 minutes in a week. It's not too much of an ask. It's a very basic ask. I would not recommend going to a gym. I would not recommend going and spending money. If you want to do it, well and good. But I would say choose something you like, because fitness journey is not like a course of antibiotics or tablet that you do for 1 month and then you find your cholesterol levels are down, your sugars are down, and you give up. It's a lifelong commitment. So I think choose what you like to do, because it could be dancing, it could be any kind of dancing, it can be classical, it could be ballroom, it could be any kind of dancing, it could be running, swimming, cycling, Zumba, it could be any kind of cardio that you like doing, because if you love it, you're going to continue doing it.
Who is that handsome devil on the screen, by the way? God almighty.
Brilliant.
So he isn't just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. We've got pictures that we're displaying on the screen right now. Doc, while you're talking, you can check it out. Go through and tell us what these are. This is obviously a marathon.
Yes, this was actually on my bucket list. I had put up a kind of challenge to myself that before I turn 50, I'm going to rather complete a full marathon. 42.2. Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow, give him a... This is in Goa, yeah?
This was at the Tata, Mumbai. This is
in
the
Mumbai.
Tata. It's over the flyover when we were running over. So
42 clicks, okay?
So this happened by sheer kind of a chat over lunch one day when we were basically having a chat with friends, and we were cycling at that point, and a friend mentioned, he says, these cyclists, they say 30, 40 kilometers, it's equal to our 5 kilometers of running. And I'm like, ouch, that was not fair. And I said, okay, let's take up to running. And there I give out a shout out to my buddy Aldrin. So Aldrin and me decided, okay, we're going to run. And we started with 5 and 10 and 15 and 21, 32, and I managed to do it at 42.
So that is a big boy. That's a full-on 42K marathon. So when you talk about fitness, you mentioned about heart rate a couple of times a week. You can do any activity, by the way. We're not saying running.
Absolutely.
Any activity that's going to get your heart pumping.
Absolutely. Walk, cycle, swim, run, jog, whatever you like doing. If you have knees, good. Then you go up steps up and down as long as you have good, strong knees. Otherwise, just choose something which you would like to do for a minimum of 15 minutes in a day, and on a week, clock it. And I think it's going to go along. It's got a good investment for your health.
Your health is so important to you. By the way, we had a couple of calls from Roy and Nigel, which you're trying to get through. We'll call you back during the show. I'm sure you want to ask some questions, Roy and Nigel. Thank you for calling in, by the way. Doc, when you mentioned about physical activity, there are limitations to what you can do during the monsoon. There's a lot of other stuff that people can do here in Goa to do whatever, indoor exercise and stuff like that. Now with the age of the internet, you can actually watch videos and do a lot of the workouts at home. It's the what's it called? The discipline to actually, how much, it's not that big a deal. How much a week?
That's the reason I explain my time duration in a week and not on a day basis.
In a week, you need how much?
You can clock 90 to 120 minutes. That's 2 hours in a week. So you don't have to do it every single day. Mm-hmm. So you can mix it up with strength training and cardio. Most of the time we feel, okay, especially ladies or women, we need to do just cardio, not much of weight training. But weight training is such an important part of building your muscles and your joints. And you don't realize it because when you combine weight training with cardio, you're actually burning more. Because when your muscles grow, it's like a bigger engine to your vehicle. So when you do the same cardio with bigger muscles, you're actually burning more. You'll see the results. Weight training with cardio combination works fabulous.
I want to get into some of the myths, the fallacies, some of the things that aren't true and that are true about health. How many glasses of water should you drink? You're a big proponent of intermittent fasting, by the way. I want to talk more about that. It is sad that people don't take their health more seriously. Guys, you only get one life to live. Have a good time, but at the end of the day, it's the least you can do because that is, like you keep mentioning, your vehicle. You don't service that and preemptively change the oil and do all the things you need to do, that car is going to break down.
Absolutely.
You are a proponent of, and you do it, by the way. I've offered to Dr. Lloyd. I told him the last time, he said, I haven't had my lunch. And I said, can I go get you a coffee and a sandwich last time? And he said, no, I'm actually fasting. Doc, talk a little bit about intermittent fasting.
I basically do a modification of that. I believe that as your day progresses, this is a personal choice. This is not from some medical books. But what I do is as the day progresses, I drop my carbs. Okay, today, I think the biggest health issues, especially in countries like the US and everywhere, we're having obesity as one of the biggest health issues. And the reason for that is everything is super loaded with carbs. Everything. You have a cola, it's loaded with sugars. You have a burger, you'll get a huge, large pack of fries with that, and it goes unlimited and stuff like that. So it's good to eat. You don't need to really starve, but make sure you're having good amount of proteins and drop your carbs through the day. So you want to have a good piece of meat, why not? Have your fish, but have it with veggies, have it with steamed veggies or salads and stuff like that. Try to cut out the mash or the potatoes on every meal that you have. Whoops. Cut down the rice and the bread maybe for dinner. I think if you just cut the carbs through the day, sugars, I think, are one of the worst foods on the planet. Okay, I really believe sugars are the worst. Even if you're not a diabetic, it's time to bring it down. So if you actually cut down your sugars, drop your carbs through the day, and hit the 2 hours in a week. I think these three would be the most powerful hacks for someone who really wants to get healthy, besides twice a week weight training.
There goes my old Monk and Coke.
And there go my potatoes.
There go your potato. You know what? It's a sacrifice you make, and you mentioned obesity. I've grown up in the States. I've spent a lot of time around the world, and obesity is a huge problem. Everybody's addicted to sugar and sweet and this, that, and the other. And sadly, as you get older, it's the double whammy because your metabolism slows down, and it's a lot harder. You don't choose where to lose the weight from, right? Your body just gains weight in all these strange places where you don't want it to be, but it's too late. If you get into good habits, like you're saying, Doc, and cut out the carbs, the sugars, I want to ask you, here in Goa, our Indian and Goan diets are relatively healthy. I know they've stopped using a lot of the old school wheat, now it's all made with white flour, right? What's good and what's bad about, for example, our Goan diet? Fish curry, rice, Explain
I think my patients love me because I never stop them from eating what they want. It's about eating the right thing at the right time, okay? And it's about avoiding certain things and having a cheat day. Today, we're having so many diabetics. And Merv, I'm so happy to tell you this, that we're having so many diabetic patients who have actually pulled down their meds and even discontinued meds scientifically, not just on their own, because the sugars have actually reversed.
Based on diet?
We are talking serious diabetes reversal. We're talking about serious reversal of sugars these days only with diet and lifestyle modifications. So I've got patients who have been on medicines for over 20 years and now they're almost medicine free. And this has not happened just because they were lucky. I think it's like if you want a trophy, you need to at least participate in that race. So if you take part, yes, you're going to get a prize there. Whether you get a bronze or a gold depends on, of course, on your genetics, on your body, and how much of effort you put in. But I think if you can work on this, because many people don't realize. I have a diabetic who will come and say, hey, I don't have any sugar, but still my sugars don't come up. It's just up. You don't realize that even the carb, even the bread or the chapati or the roti you're having gets converted to sugars in your body. So we need to make sure, they need to understand that proteins would be a good alternative for them with a decent amount of carbs. Balance it out and keep active. Build your strength, because if you age and you're going to have joint issues, you're not going to be able to exercise later. So that's the reason. Even if you see the workouts for men working out in gyms today, 90% of the men would be working on their upper body.
Yeah.
You'll hardly see anyone doing the lower body, and that's what it is. And then knee arthritis is a big thing happening in the future. So I think we need to concentrate on working on our joints and muscle training. I stress on again, and drop the carbs. No matter what carb it is, just bring it down, cut it down, because every carb gets converted to sugar.
But back to the question, I wanted to ask you about the Goen diet. Fish, I'm so sheetkari rice.
Goans love their food, don't they? And I think it's fair if you are staying active. I would not tell a patient you got to stop the rice or stop the bread if you're healthy.
Okay, so burn it off.
Yes, if you are doing your walks in a week and you're keeping your weight good, your BMI is decent, you don't have any major risk markers, like you're not a high uncontrolled diabetic or uncontrolled hypertensive, I don't see a reason to tell you to really do anything different, because you are doing a good act. But if you feel that now this is the time where you're struggling, you're having arthritis kicking in, or your sugars are going out of hand, instead of, you have two choices. I've had a patient who came to my clinic and said, doc, I cannot exercise. He was very straightforward. So then I know my job. I need to give him higher medication. There's nothing more I can do there. But I always like to give my patients trials. I don't start with medicines immediately. We always give trials. So I tell them, this is the period we're going to try, and we're going to follow up in maybe one month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and then we recheck and see how they're doing. And the results are amazing. I'll tell you, the results are amazing when I've seen people putting in the effort. So if that happens, I don't mind them having the sheet kori and their rice. I don't need to tell them to stop. But if you tell me that I do not want to exercise and I'm still having uncontrolled readings, then's the time I say you need to cut the carbs as the day goes by. And that means all the carbs.
Very important. God, that's brilliant advice for people out there that can't figure out what to do with their health. Actually, Mom always said everything in moderation too, yeah?
Fabulous, absolutely.
Doc, you're such an interesting guy. Whenever I come, I only come and see you when I've got a problem, but it's so much fun to talk to you. Ajay, I want to go through some of the slides that we got through, put them on the screen. Doc, what is this all about? A doctor, check you out, man. You are a rock star.
Cool.
What's this?
These are my buddies from the HOG, the Harley Davidson group. So this was some hobby I picked up once I happened to witness. It's a very strange story. When Harley Davidson had their annual rides in Goa, Goa was the venue for it. And remember the first time it happened near Casa Portuguesa on the Baga Road. Yeah. And Nadia and me were excited, the Harleys are in Goa. And we were there to see them take off from there. And it looked, it was amazing. And then I said, hey, I need to be there next year. And that's how it started. Harley Davidson had a showroom opened up in Goa, in Miramar, so it was easy to get a bike then. And then we were part of such an amazing community. We would ride on Sundays across Goa, and I've got riders who travel across India, and I've got some riders who have traveled out of India. I had one of our riders taking off from Porvorim and riding up to Thailand. So
wow.
So that's it. So wow. Carl, a shout out to you where you are, and he's done it. So that's how ridiculously crazy the brotherhood can be. And we spend out in the mornings breakfast rides and overnighters. It's a different form of fellowship that you experience with a lot of charity work. We have visited homes across Goa, and we have contributed and created so many charity events as well, supporting homes and needy.
Bravo. I think that is so cool. You're so interesting to talk to, but you're a marathon runner. You're a Harley owner, a hog rider. What else do you do? You mentioned about dancing. Who is that? That's got to be like 25 years ago.
This was, I think, in 2017.
Such a baby face.
Look at his face, dude. Wow.
Amazing.
I think his wife makes him look young. His wife is beautiful. That's Dr. Nadia, yeah?
Yes, she is.
And what are you guys doing? What is this all about?
I remembered when we were in clinic and we were so busy in our work and we were not finding time for each other. So that's when Nadia and I had a seat and we said, we need to do something where we can actually spend time together. And Nadia came up with this idea, let's go dancing. Okay, and so I said, okay, we can, but where is the time? My OPDs would end by 8:39 at that time. It was a full day OPD. And then I took the call and I called up my very good friend, and a shout out to him again, Dr. Martin. So he's looks after Dance Illusions, one of the popular ballroom dance classes in Goa. Wow. So I called up Dr. Martin and said, Martin, this is Dr. Lloyd. I would like you to come and give me private classes. Okay, so he said, private classes? I said, I need after 8:30 when I close my OPD. So he said, Dr. Lloyd, don't mind it, but we have classes twice a week in Panjim, 6 to 7:30 or 7 to 9. Come in. I said, I really don't have the time. And then he said one line, which was the big changeover. He said, come once, you will not regret it. And you know what? I actually closed the OPD one evening and I landed up at Mayfair Hotel at that time in Panjim. And believe me, next week the OPD timing changed twice a week. And I was there, and that resulted in dancing. And within a year, he was like pushing us to take part in competitions. We went into Bombay at the NCPA, and that was the first regional professional contest.
Is that what we're seeing on the screen?
Yeah, that was the entire Team Goa that went in for the dance competition. Team Goa won so many gold medals that year. And we won the gold in the International Cha-Cha. We went in and won the bronze in the waltz. And then the previous picture was the nationals. We went for the nationals. We took part in the International Cha-Cha, and we were the national gold medalist for that.
Bravo to the Goa dancing team. This is all different types of dancing. Cha-cha.
Yes.
Wow. And is that your wife in the blue dress with the beautiful legs?
Yes, she is.
Dr. Nadia, kudos, man. I can say that. But this comes back to the same point. If you do something that you love and you enjoy, for example, the exercise, there's no better thing to spend time with your wife. You work hard, you want to spend some quality time, plus you want to kill two birds with one stone. You want to get the exercise. We've got a video, by the way. Check this out. Get him, Doc.
So stylish. I'm so envious.
Bloody hell, that is so cool, man. Where is this? This is in Goa, Doc?
This is in Panjim. This is the regular classes twice a week that we have in Panjim, and now we have classes in Porvorim as well. So if you need to just have fun and get fit and lose some weight and get energetic, I think this is the best form of dancing. People come in to take tablets to get your mood up. You need serotonin, you need dopamine, and the best way to get free dopamine and serotonin is about half an hour to 1 hour of dancing.
That's excellent.
It's so much fun because here in Goa we've got such soul, we've got such heart, we love our music, and we're just naturally. This is something that you could do to exercise with a loved one, with your partner, with your wife, with whoever. Joanne?
Yeah, I was saying to Dr. Lloyd earlier, in the UK they're actually doing these classes like rave night classes in some of the health centres, because a lot of these people grow up with all the dance music and they're missing it because they don't go out clubbing anymore, but they're going for dance classes and they're just raving it up and having a ball of a time and actually losing weight and getting more fit. It's amazing.
If you've got any kind of a hankering, any kind of urge to actually get in shape, and you want to take it seriously, we've got too many vices out there, from drinking, smoking, eating, everything you want, and gaining weight. This is something so simple, and I don't realize, Doc, I don't understand why people can't make the effort. It's the discipline. You know what I mean? It's all up here. It's in your head, and it's how you look at things and how you want to make a tough situation better. Dancing's a great way to exercise, and this Ajoy keeps on making me want to go to beer yoga. And I said, Ajoy, no way, mate. I'm trying to lose the weight.
Listen, we actually had him do it, and we have proof. It's just a matter of time that video comes out.
Naked yoga. I'm doing that one. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into. So I've got I've covered a couple of the topics, and I want to cover a couple more. He's a dancer. He's a marathon runner. He's part of the Harleys of Goen. Yeah, is that what?
Yeah.
Bike rider. Mate, he's done TEDx talks. He teaches Lifesaving. Doc, where do you get the time to sleep? Look at this. Where is this training? This is for Lifesaving?
This is something which is really, really dear to my heart. It's entirely passion-driven. And I call it passion-driven because with the clinic, I'm already like stuck up till here with my work, but still I make the time for this. It happened after an incident which I personally experienced of a gentleman who was almost choking to death. So it happened, and we managed to get him out, and he's a healthy, fabulous man today. And then I realized one basic kind of thing that amongst the common population, the information or the details of basic life-saving are absolutely unknown. I have seen practically no knowledge on the street. When I've seen an accident site on the road, there are people who would stop to see, the people who are stopping to be curious about what happened, but sadly nobody touches. And they don't touch for two reasons. One is either they're afraid because they don't know what to do, and most of the time they think they need to figure out what's happening. I send a very strong message to anybody who happens to be at an accident site today. You are not there to diagnose what has happened. That the paramedic and the doctor will do. Okay, it doesn't matter if somebody has collapsed due to a heart attack or an accident or low sugar, low pressure, it could be anything. The main thing is there is someone on the floor. There are two things you need to do. You need to shout for help because only then somebody known will come. And what you need to know is realize what you can do in those 10, 15, 20 minutes till help arrives. Because we lose the battle in those 10 to 15 minutes waiting for help to arrive.
Can I mention another reason that I think that people are so scared to get involved? Everybody's nosy. They take their phones out. They want to post it on social media. 9 out of 10 people here in Go are scared to get involved for liability reasons, Doc. If something happens, I'll get blamed. I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's so sad that in this day and age, when you can do simple things to save a life, these stupid excuses come into play and people die. What you're doing here, by the way, I am a huge proponent. Everybody should take this. How do you learn to do this life-saving, by the way, Doc?
Now, what we do is I've got a company called First to Aid, which we do trainings, official trainings. I'm tied up with a friend of mine as well. And there we do certified trainings for companies across different platforms. So at the moment, we're training the airports. We're training, now we've started hotel staff. So we're training most of the resorts to deal with major things, important things, like could be a simple fainting or a choking or a cardiac arrest or a drowning. And then we're looking at all industries across Goa. So we're looking after different factories, units. So we're doing community training. We've got a training center in Panjim. So
kids in school?
This was an entire training. This is a beautiful initiative by the Kalangut Panchayat. So the Sarpanch, Joseph, called me up one day and said, I would like to do a first aid training thing for the children. I said, why not? And we had this huge group of children at the Kalangut Panchayat Hall, and we had a day workshop for them. And this was a beautiful thing. At this age, believe me, they are very enthusiastic. And you put a seed now, that's great.
You know what, Doc? I commend whoever your Sarpanch in Kalangut. If people did this, and we've talked about school, sports, teaching of garbage, to put garbage in its place, but life-saving can be literally the difference between life and death.
I was going to say, when I was in the Girl Guides, we actually did that life-saving training. And so to kind of clear someone's airway and then, give that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And I've always said to Mervyn, whenever we see that on TV, people don't get the airway clear, and they're kind of leaving people's chins down instead of opening it up so you can get the air inside. And that always stuck with me, even from being a Girl Guide.
It's life-saving.
Yes, sometimes it's the most basic thing. You got to realize if someone has collapsed, the logic is he's collapsed because the brain is not getting blood. So now he's on the floor where the heart and the brain are getting good blood supply because they are at the same level. The biggest mistake we do is we try to make them sit as fast as possible. If you realize, whenever someone collapses, the first thing we do is get a chair, make him sit.
My God. Willie, that's Joanne was talking about the Girl Guides, yes? In the Girl Guides you teach life-saving, yeah? It's not a place to pick up women, by the way. Here again, Doc, you're doing some life-saving techniques on a dummy. Where do these classes, or where can somebody come and join, watch, learn at a life-saving class?
Now, if you have a group of your own, a company, a group of friends, like 10 to 15 of you, we go to wherever you are because it's easy for our team to travel rather than make 10, 20 people travel to us. But if you are a single person, or you have have less than 10 people, you're just 2, 3, 4, then every month we do a class in a training center in Pato. So this training is at Panaji, at the bus stand. So there's a center there, so you just need to call us and tell us when is the next class, we'll tell you the date, and it's a workshop which gives you such simplified forms. You don't need to know anything about medicine, but an assurity, complete it, and I can tell you, you'll know to handle almost every medicine emergency.
This could potentially save a life. You know what I mean? This is something that should be taught in school. I'm surprised they don't teach it in school. Music is so important. Math, all of the subjects in school. But life-saving, basic life-saving should be something that is so important that could potentially save a life. Where is this, by the way, Doc?
So this was in a school. This is the Sharda Mandir school in Miramar. Oh, yeah. So this is the time when I was invited to give a class for their teachers. So they wanted the entire staff to be trained, and then we had a workshop for them at the Miramar school.
Nice. I hope the government would be listening and basically implementing this in every school, just like you have all your subjects. I think life training, there you go, some more pictures of life saving. I think it would make a huge difference, human life, and like you mentioned earlier, life in this country doesn't have the value that it has everywhere else around the world.
Absolutely. In fact, there was a good suggestion done by our MLA, Michael Lobo and Joseph, in the last training that we had, where they suggested that before the licenses are renewed of the shack owners, they got to make it compulsory for them to learn life saving, because so many deaths are happening on the beach, drowning, dehydration, fights. So if we can have at least 2 people in each business that is cool, like who are trained, then I think that can save a lot of lives, because that 10 to 15 minutes can make such a difference, and you don't need to give medicines. Giving tablets is not first aid. First aid is just doing the essentials, keeping the heart going, keeping the breathing going, and calling for help, which anybody can do.
You mentioned the Goen beaches. This is a tourist destination. People coming from all over the world, and you expect to have some backup, some help. If there is a situation, whether it's a drowning or sunstroke or whatever, basic first aid, simple things you can do in the first 5, 7, 10 minutes could save somebody's life.
Absolutely.
We've talked about life-saving. We talk about health. Guys, I can't stress how much I would love people to take their health more seriously. Go to a doctor. Speak to them. If you've got any problem, it's not going to go in on its own most of the time. You've got to go to the doctor. You've got to speak to the doctor. You have to help the doctor to help you. You've got to give him as much information about what it is that you're feeling, what you've done, history, whatever the case may be, and make sure that the doctor has all the information to make a proper diagnosis.
Yeah, and also what I wanted to just mention as well is that preventative styling is when you come and get your blood workups and you get these different tests and you check the markers and all of that kind of thing. Because obviously, you've got many tourists that will come from overseas and they decide to do those checkups here. And then it's nice for them to go home with a full bill of health or understand whatever else they need to do. And I think if more people that were actually living here full time actually did more of that, it would make a huge difference also.
And it's so economical in India compared to anywhere in the world. So, and most of the laboratories also have these mini packages now. So you don't need to go and pay per test. Just look for a lab or a clinic around you and just go and inquire about a basic health checkup package. You don't need to go and do those comprehensive mega packages. Just a basic one that covers essentials once a year and follow the little tips that we spoke about. You'll see the transformation within 6 weeks.
And it's not going to break the bank. Everybody talks about, oh my God, it's so expensive. Guys, this is your health. This is your life. Willie, if you save the money you spend on alcohol for one day, you could pay for these.
Never drinks. What's wrong with you?
He doesn't drink piano, huh?
Almost 7 years now.
Almost 7 years that you, what do you mean? What did you quit drinking for? Why? Were you a big drinker, heavy drinker?
No, I got bored of it.
There's a good reason. There's a very good reason. But you know what? It's not going to break the bank. And at the end of the day, something like that could really a simple test, Doc.
Absolutely.
For an ailment that's been troubling you. Like I hate people who say, I've got a toothache. You know what? I'm going to take a Crocin or an aspirin. It's just going to Band-Aid the pain. Go get it checked. Sanchita, if you're listening, by the way, you're going to be at the office tomorrow. Get your flipping blood. What causes heartburn, by the way? I told her, just go and get your tests done.
We've told so many of our team to come to Dr. Lloyd. It's like, don't bother with anyone else. Just go straight to Dr. Lloyd because he does this staged process. And then you kind of know that you're in good hands and, you're not just getting some placebo effect medicines or, not knowing what kind of injections are being put into you. That's what we'd always recommend.
Before I jump into the next topic, and I'm going to get to it, I've got to say, Doc, I love the fact that your clinic is clean. Everything's on an iPad. You're giving me a thing. And it's very reasonable, guys. We're not talking about 9 out of 10 times, 90 or 100% of the times. I don't think I've ever paid over $700 at the clinic. Guys, your life, your health is so important. You don't have to go to Dr. Lloyd. You can go to any doctor. The point is, go and get yourself checked out. You can't take care of anybody else unless you take care of yourself. I was reading a lot of the history about Dr. Lloyd. He sent us a couple of pictures. I want to get into this. I want to ask you about this because I'm so curious. Doc, you are a star. What is this TEDx talk about?
Well, this again is a story to talk about. I was trying to get into this because I love speaking. And sometimes you go to say, Lloyd, just shut up now, okay? So I'm going to speak over. Otherwise, we'll get confused who's taking charge of the show right now. So this is what happened. So I'm thinking one day, you know what? I think I need to. I've done it. I'm doing public speaking. I'm doing trainings. I'm doing stuff. What else can I do? And I said, I need to be a TEDx speaker. And I put it out. I truly believe in the secret. I put it in the universe, and I said, I want to do it. So I went online, and I found on Instagram there was a TEDx happening in Panjim. So I went in to put in the details. It says fill up the form. I went to fill in the form and the date was gone. The date was already over. So it was like, okay, anyway, fill in the form. So I filled in the form for a different event, okay, not this one. And then it was all done, and 5 days later, I go for a meeting, a Toastmasters Club meeting, and I happen to meet someone who says, you know what, they're having a TEDx program coming up, and it would be very nice if we could have you speak on that occasion.
Oh,
so
my
I
God.
literally put it up to the universe, and the universe said, take it, gift for you.
There you go.
And I grabbed it. Oh, I loved it.
Can I ask you what you spoke about?
It was something very personal because we had a lot of youngsters at that event, and it was something about me that not many people know. Now, you've spoken about Lloyd the dancer, Lloyd the biker, Lloyd the runner. I'm no Superman, okay? It's like I've had a lot of challenges as I've grown up from a childhood to now. I have been very severe asthmatic as a child. I've had major back issues. I had a disc injury, major lower back injury, which kept me quite in pain and trouble for quite some years, in fact. So fighting all those events, you know, I gave them a story because these kids, it's like, I truly believe if you don't change it, you choose it. That's my life slogan. We often grumble about what's happening in life, but I truly believe if you don't make an attempt to change it, you have chosen it.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's what. So you go ahead, and in the times of challenges where you can really grow, and I think that's what my life story was, the conversion of this little boy, little timid, shy boy, kind of breaking barriers and trying to shine out in life.
I love that. I'm gonna use that in a couple of episodes. But if you don't change it, you're choosing it. Basically,
Yeah.
if you're not taking charge and doing something different, you're basically asking for the same outcome. You were unhealthy. You mean to tell me you were sick? You mentioned. I remember you talking about it. This talk was about how you were sick for a very, very long time in your early years, and you got over it.
In fact, till I passed out from school, it was really bad. I think my dad and mom did a lot for me. There were times where at that point of time, I couldn't even run for 50 meters down the school for a sports event because I would start wheezing majorly, and we didn't have inhalers at that time, and we didn't have nebulizers at that time. So it was really challenging because every time I would do a little bit of activity, then I had to wait and pop in a tablet and Asthalin, and that tablet itself had side effects. I would start trembling, and I've gone to school literally shaking my hands. So it's been a challenge. Till about the 9th or 10th, I couldn't take part in any sporting activity. But then I think it's blessings from above. After I passed out my 10th, the attack stopped. I've been to hospital so many times. But then after that, after 11th, the attacks decreased, the inhaler came by, and that was the change, the transformation that began. There was a lot of lack of confidence because I couldn't do anything. I was a very, very shy, timid boy, and no one knew Lloyd existed there at that point of time, I guess. But
this is asthma you're talking about.
Yes.
And does asthma cure itself? I mean, you took medication and all, but does it cure itself as you get older?
It doesn't cure. I wouldn't say that I don't get it now, but I don't get attacks anymore. So if I do randomly have a little bit of wheezing, I will pop up and take a puff of my inhaler, but I don't get attacks anymore. I think as you grow, it kind of transforms. It has been better for me. I've not had a single emergency after my 11th standard. Before that, it was bad.
So that heavy breathing when you're dancing with another woman and your wife is staring at you is not asthma, is it? Make sure you dance with your wife, fellas, when you're trying to do these dance classes. Sorry, go on.
No, you and your storytelling. I was going to ask Dr. Lloyd, you were telling us us, I think, regarding how you actually introduce your TEDx talk and how you're using analogies and different creatures. Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yes, in fact, I truly believe in storytelling. I believe storytelling is the best way you can pass a message. Even in my trainings, in my first aid trainings that I do, there's so much of storytelling that goes along. And I kind of passed on a story of, I remember, a lobster. I asked for the king of the ocean, and you would think of the shark and you would think of the whale. I said, no, I truly believe the lobster is the king of the ocean. And I said, if you think and you wonder why I'm going nuts calling a lobster the king of the ocean, I said, the lobster, as it grows, it's got a powerful shell, a very protective shell to kind of keep it safe from all the predators around. But as it grows, the body grows, but the shell doesn't. So if it decides that, no, I'm not going to throw off the shell because that's protecting me, their time will come in where he actually is too constricted and it's going to die. So there is a period in every lobster's life cycle that he actually throws away that shell. And he's just a piece of meat which can be eaten by anyone in the sea. So it just goes into hiding, waits for the new shell which is bigger, better, and stronger. I think that's what I would call out to everybody out here. If you think you're low, if you think that one is better, if that bully in school is trying to show you that, no, you are not good enough, okay, I tell you, just hold on and hang there. Take the change and you will see transformation happening.
Brilliant advice. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Merv Brito Show. We're talking in conversation. We're talking to the one and only Dr. Lloyd Joseph D'Souza. He's such a penultimate. I swear to God, he's so professional. He's been staring at the camera. I've been watching him. And
More than you do.
And unlike me, he's looking everywhere. And Yusuf gets angry. You're such a professional. He does it all, from public speaking. We're going to get into the Toastmasters, by the way, now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear from you. 7507-246-246. Give us a call. Send us a message. We love to hear from you. It's an interactive show. We do this every Sunday at 6 o'clock. We're doing today's show with the great doctor because health is so important. People don't take it seriously or seriously enough, Doc, and they wait. As you get older, people start getting very serious about my health and my diet and my exercise. But if you can start teaching people, or people understand at a younger age, simple tricks, simple habits, good habits, won't break the bank. It doesn't take great amounts of, it just takes discipline. Can change your life for the better. If you want to get in touch with us, 750-724-6246. I wanted to get into one of the other things that I'm really curious about, I've heard a lot about it, which is Toastmasters. Now, Doc, Ajay, you've got a bunch of information about it. Doc, I want you to explain, is it as easy as the title? What is Toastmasters all about?
Nothing to do with toast and tea. Right? So basically, Toastmasters is an international organization. It's from the US, but it's across the world with two single motives. So again, a shout out to anyone who wants to grow there. Number one, do you want to be a better public speaker? Question number two, do you want to enhance your leadership skills? It's a structured, friendly, beautiful organization with branches across the globe. It's over 100 years old.
Wow.
So it's a lot of history. 100 years last year. So since Ralph Smedley, the first gentleman, decided to start the club in the US. So now there are thousands of clubs. So in Goa itself, we got about 6 or 7. So there are so many of them. And we just started a beautiful club in Kalangut just in February this year. But we have clubs in Panjim, in Margao, all across Mapsa. So it's all across the place. And it's such a beautiful place. It's a place where you come, you meet, you make friends, you're greeting people, and at the same time, you're enhancing your public speaking skills.
I was going to say, this article, I'd noticed this article when we come to your surgery, and it really struck me from this guy writing this, saying nobody is a natural, and I just loved seeing that, because it just goes to prove you can make a change, you can develop, you can grow, and it's all about practice and then just putting in, these good skills in your life, essentially.
So true. If you had to ask me that I would be sitting and talking on a public forum about 10 years ago, it would be a nightmare. So that kind of transformation, and everyone gets a mentor. It's a structured thing, and I think you just come in and it's an experience. And best part is, as a guest, you pay nothing. So you can come as a guest to any Toastmasters club, and only if you need to join, you need to pay the membership fees. But once you're a member of any club, you're a member of Toastmasters International. That means you can attend a meeting anywhere in the world.
I've got to ask you, Doc, you mentioned when you introduced the Toastmasters, obviously it's about public speaking and building confidence, but how does it, you mentioned something about how it makes such a positive change in your life. How is that? Is that building confidence? What does it do? Tell me.
Yeah, the first thing you do when you become a Toastmaster is you get someone to do your hand-holding for you. You get a mentor who kind of will hand-hold you till you pass the initial stages and get to realize what the meeting is all about.
Okay.
And after that, you're prepared to do minor things. Sometimes you're given a role like of a timer or a grammarian or an hour counter, stuff like that, where you are kind of getting confident in standing in front of people and speaking. Then a stage comes in when you actually give a speech. And for your speech, you'll have a mentor guiding you through your speech, getting you prepared. And when your speech is given, you're evaluated at so many levels. You have your evaluator evaluating your speech. You have an hour counter counting how many times you're using filler words like ah and ums and oh and long pauses. You have a timer who's actually checking on the time to meet the criteria of the speech. You have a grammarian who's going to keep a note of any good word, good language, good quotes you've used in your speech, or somewhere where you can improve. And then at the end of it, you get a report from each one of them on your speech. So you are growing. You won't believe it how many times you're using an okay or an R and um when you speak. There are so many filler words that we use, and that happens when we are thinking, but those are called crutch words. We don't believe it's needed in Toastmasters.
Bloody hell, I'd need a wheelchair, man. Talk about crutch words. I would fail.
When can Mo sign up?
That is. You got to get up in front of people. You put me in front of a mic, I can talk till the cows come home, mate. You put me on the stage and I'll end up like Willie's legs in the gym, like chicken legs, boy. My legs would shake. Willie, why am I picking on you today, by the way?
I was going to ask you the same.
Poor guy, dude. Turn his mic off. No, I'm saying, I love things that can make people better. People want to make the effort, or actually want to try and get better. There's so many things you can do that can actually enhance or make better what you do, build your confidence. I've heard so much about the Toastmasters, and I think if anybody wants to get into public speaking, you want to better your life, you want to gain the confidence, you're always looking for jobs or you're always interacting with people, what else would be a better forum than the Toastmasters? So this is something, by the way, these are all gentlemen from the Toastmasters, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. In fact, the gentleman in the center, he's Mohammed Qatari. So he's basically the international champion. So at Toastmasters, we have something called the International Speech Contest, which happens at club, goes to area, goes to division, finally comes to district, and then finally you go to represent all over the world. So the gentleman in the center is actually the one who won it across the globe. He's the international speech champion.
Across the globe.
And if you go online, you should listen to his speech. It's one of the most amazing speeches you will ever hear. Is Mohammed Qatani. You should listen to his speech online.
He won the international.
Yes, and it's global. He's the speaking champion of the world. Yes.
What's his name?
Mohammed Qatani.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
The speech is called The Power of Words. You just Google it and listen to it. The Power of Words. I'll tell you, it's such an amazing, inspiring speech.
Check it out, man. Go online. You can check it and see. Doc, that's you won a prize. I saw the first prize. What was that? Go back to that. Show me that, dude. You won a prize at one of these Toastmasters contests.
Yes.
This is you speaking, obviously. This prize. Now, this is something that is held. This is all Goa?
This was in Pune. So what happens is the first contest happens at a club. So that was in Panjim. So you're the first place there. You get going to the area level, which is the rest of the clubs in your area. That's the second contest. So you got to win that again. And when you win that, then you travel to Pune. So this was Goa and Pune, Goa, Maharashtra together.
Gotcha.
So and in Pune, so this was the contest which happened at the division. So that I won the first place here. So from here we came to the district, which is the highest in here in our district championship, which happened at the Goen Heritage in Goa.
Wow.
So the district championship where I got the first runners up for that one. Yeah.
Well done.
Amazing.
Congratulations. That's awesome, dude. I don't know that I'd have the confidence to get in front of a bunch of people. I'll tell you what, I'd enter the Toastmasters contest in China. I think I'd probably win there. You know what I'm saying? I could win that contest, boy. This is you.
On what basis?
Because they don't speak any English, dude. I could win hands down.
He'll be asking about Chinese food only.
I
That's what
know,
I'm
this
thinking.
is it. It's all about the food and it's the menu.
No, not at all. I think it's brilliant. There are more pictures of the toast. Go through these pictures. I want to see some of these more pictures. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, George, who was one of our guests earlier, his father, Ashley, was majorly into the Toastmasters. And I think the kids used to go along and join it. So, I mean, in terms of building confidence, I just think it's phenomenal because not everyone wants to get up and do public speaking, but a forum, a friendly forum that's going to help you build confidence in the workplace, in your life, in your social life, interpersonal skills. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think in today's world, it's not what you're selling, it's how you are selling it. It's about smart business. So I think communication is such a key in doing even normal business. So doing that with what we do, the sandwich method is what we used in Toastmasters. We call it the sandwich. We don't give sandwiches, but it's a sandwich method where we talk good, so you get the encouragement. In between, the filler will be a little bit of improvement. And just before you go little lose heart, we tell you, but overall, you are great and you will do great. And that gives them the confidence to come back the next time.
To keep them coming back.
Indeed.
That is a beautiful floor, by the way. Where is this? This is a beautiful building.
Oh, this is at my house. This is my residence.
Is that your house?
Yeah, that's my...
Bloody hell. I was going to say, which museum are you doing the flipping out? If I was
This
going
was when we charted the Kalangut Toastmasters Club. Initially, we were doing it in my house. And then we had quite a few meetings there at my residence. And once we got the club numbers increasing, we had a beautiful, very handsome, dynamic gentleman, Charleston from Kalangut. A shout out to Charleston because he called up one day and said, hey, listen, I've got my place, use it. And he's been such a gem of a person. He's giving us his place and we're having his meetings every second and fourth Friday of the month at Charleston.
I'll tell you what, the best thing about Charleston is his wife, Maria. No offense, Charleston, but I love your wife. She's such a sweetheart. She's very good friends with...
She's another one of my bezies, so they're a fabulous family.
Well done. You know what? I think it's brilliant. You can't complain about distance. It's so close by.
Yes.
Kalangut is not far to go. You got a big crowd that comes there?
At the moment, we are about 25 registered members and we get guests. So on the average, around 30. So, and then we have inter-club meetings. Like the one we're having on 22nd is going to be a mega meeting coming up of 2 clubs. So if anyone wants to experience Toastmasters from Kalangut, 22nd August, Charleston.
And it's free to enter. You can come
free.
there?
It's free as a guest. You just come in, get a feel of what happens, and then we charge. I know even the charges are not really collected for us. The charges all go to Toastmasters International. So we practically don't charge anything. We probably have a small club fee like 200 rupees odd a month that is only for the snacks and stuff like that. But the entire charge goes to Toastmasters International, not for us. It's basically a non-profit organization.
I think it's brilliant. If anybody wants interested, go online. You can't, because everything nowadays is based on communication.
Indeed.
And if you can communicate effectively, you can. That's something that scares me, and that's probably for another show. But I talk about language in school and how people should be taught. We were talking about life-saving, but language and communication skills in schools. People want to make Marathi the language, the primary language. Guys, how many countries across the world would you go and be able to speak to and communicate in Marathi or even Hindi? Hindi is great to learn. It's your national language. But English, Hindi, all the languages, as many languages you could teach kids in school, it is so important to learn to communicate.
Absolutely.
Doc, we're coming close to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the pleasure of talking to the one and only Dr. Lloyd. By the way, there's another award, yeah? This is another award you've won for Toastmasters.
No, this was actually a part of the Indian Medical Association. So the Goa State IMA had, this is a beautiful slogan. The entire year we had a slogan, taking care of the old with your heart of gold.
Oh, wow.
All right. And you won't believe what we did in Goa. Okay. In Goa, we had the entire Indian Medical Associations across Goa visit old age homes, get loads of buses, get the elderly into the buses, and our governor, who's just moved out of Goa, he's such a gentleman. He invited all these elderly people to Raj Bhavan, and on a grand buffet, they were welcomed to music and performances and dancing, and we had what a show. And we had live music in all the old age homes. We had Cheryl coming in and playing music, live music, and we had 80s and 90s. In fact, I had that video, but it's not here here with me, you'll find people who couldn't stand dancing to songs like Lorna.
Oh, how lovely.
And this was the national award for the best secretary of the Indian Medical Association that I received from the National IMA president for that.
Doc, what don't you do? My
That's
God,
phenomenal,
that's awesome.
isn't
Man. And that's why I find him so interesting. He's my doctor and all that kind of stuff. But the stuff that he does, and he talks and he speaks, and he's so interesting to speak to. By the way, Raj Bhavan is right down the road from my friend Ajoy Barreto. Yeah, they don't have any water. Do you have any water there yet, or what?
It's been raining well, so the supply has been good.
Water from the PWD mountain, hasn't it?
But I tell you what, every time I get closer to the Raj Bhavan, the security check on me is very high because now they know that I'm associated with you.
Baba, you look the way you do. I wouldn't let you into my compound, boy. I don't care what ID you have. Yes.
So I was going to say, you brought up a really brilliant point about actually being more inclusive with the older generation. And when Ashley, when his wife was here, Giselle, we used to go to the old age homes and sing Christmas carols and stuff with, and it used to just bring people to life, and their eyes were shining brightly and they'd be singing and swaying along. It's so lovely, and I'd love us to be able to contribute more to help these people.
So true. Most of the time we end up going there giving them food, money and clothing. Well, that's great, but give them your time.
Doc,
they need the time.
When do you do this? When do you do the old age homes? When do you all do that?
When I was the secretary of the Indian Medical Association for Bhardiya, so we were part of an executive committee with Dr. Vishwaraj, my president, and Dr. Diksha as my treasurer. So we had a team which worked, and we had the state IMA, which was really, really cooperative. So we had a great team all Goa who could do this. So we had to only take turns to plan it up late evening. So we would do it like around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Get the musicians, go there, play the music, get them to dance and stuff like that. But nowadays we just go and spend time with them. So that is usually in the evenings. Yeah.
That is another thing that is so close to my heart. We all get old, and when Joanne was mentioning about Giselle, we used to go and sing for Christmas once a year. Everybody's going to get old. You've got people that have raised you from a very young age, that have taken care of you, and it's so sad to see them in a home being taken care of by strangers. That is something that is so close to my heart, and I'd love to do. We got to talk about these things where we'd love to do drives. I would love to hold a contest. I don't want any money, but the contest would be to donate and generate revenue to be able to give it to your favorite old folks home. We call it old folks home, old age home. Doc, I'd love to be able to do something where we could generate, we could auction, we could sell and generate the interest, the activity, the concern about these people that you have in these old folks homes. You guys, you want to take a call?
Yes.
We don't have a lot of time left. Let's do.
But also, Doc, before we stop speaking to you, I want to ask you, you said you're writing a book. Is it fact or fiction?
It is actually, it's a little delayed because of work commitments. I had actually planned it to be kind of done by my birthday, but I think it's going to take about 6 more months.
Okay.
It's a very different topic I'm talking about. It's more about mental thinking, but it should be out in 6 months.
He's only 50. Did he look so young? All right, we're going to take a call. Mr. Roy Vaz. Do we have him?
We're getting him on.
He's writing a book. Yeah, you're going to be writing a book, Doc? I can't wait. I can't.
Work in progress.
Mr. Vaz, are you on the air with us? Can you hear me?
No, Nigel call you.
It's Nigel.
Nigel Vaz.
I don't know.
What is your name? Can you tell us what your name is and where you're calling from?
India.
You're calling from India. Where in India?
I don't know. He called me my phone.
I called your phone?
This caller tried calling us earlier.
No, Nigel called my phone.
Baba, I was calling to wish you a happy Raksha Bandhan. Just in case I missed it and I forgot about it. Happy Raksha Bandhan for yesterday. Where do you live? Where can I send this Rakhi to?
I don't know.
Baba, address khobara tuka. Who called him? He called you. What's the story on this, dude?
He's Konkani.
Konkani ulai tara Baba. Sang maka.
ना त्याने म्हाका सांगला ओली तुका कॉल मारा न्ही मागीर तो नायजल उलयतलो
बरें तुम्ही सगळे चेडवा पयले स्क्रीनार मरे फोन केलो मरे तुगे शिकपाक नाचपाक शिकपाक जाय तुका
म्हाका कांय नाका
Okay, Baba. Listen, there's got to be some miscommunication.
You happy also.
Okay.
I thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Vaz. I will send you Rocky to... I got your address. It's good, dude. Let's get back to Dr. Lloyd, guys. I would love to read the book that you write, because just in talking to you, you are so interesting. I've got to ask you some shotgun questions that I'm going to... Before... I don't care. We're going to ask you these questions. Doc, intermittent fasting, good or bad?
Intermittent fasting.
Good.
Yes.
Gluten. We've got so much gluten we have in our diet here in Go. Good or bad?
50-50.
50-50?
Yes.
It depends.
Yes.
It depends on what you're consuming.
Yes.
Antibiotics as a whole, overall.
Antibiotics are shouting out, do not call me for every party. Please keep them away unless they really need it.
Good advice. I've heard so much about this drug called Ozempic that has become so popular. What's the story?
It's basically an anti-diabetic drug with a side effect of weight loss. But weight loss is not permanent. So remember, it is like your co-pilot. You are the pilot. So if you're going to take Ozempic, you're going to lose some weight because you're going to take off your appetite, it's going to do some changes with the hormones, you're going to lose some weight, but if you're not going to correct your lifestyle, you're going to get it all back. All right, so remember, it's a co-pilot, put in healthy diet, and I would say if health works naturally, you don't need to take any artificial forms.
Just make the effort like you mentioned earlier. You've just got 200 hours, no, 20 hours, 2 hours a week.
2 hours a week.
That's nothing. And you could stay healthy. If you love the people, if you love your family, if you love the people that are around you and that take care of you, you can take care of. You can't do any of that without taking care of your health. And it's not something that has to break the bank. It's just basic. Take care of what you put in your system, your stomach, what you eat. And when you do have problems, go to a doctor, get it sorted out. Don't wait till you get older and then all of a sudden you decide, I want to lose weight and I want to be fit and I want to do all this crap. You can do it from a very young age, and I wish they would teach that to people in school.
I think what is a huge problem these days is people actually getting a balance in their life between work and also any, downtime. And because when you get out of whack, because you're overworking, then you're not eating properly, you're not getting a chance to go and exercise. And that's the huge problem. And I feel that that's something that everybody these days is challenged with, like globally, essentially.
It is. By the way, who the hell is Roy Vaz? Who did y'all call him or did he call in here? What's that all about?
Apparently, it is Nigel Godros. So he was trying to call us from his phone as well as from
Oh my God,
Roy's
poor
phone.
guy. He must have a heart attack, dude. Who the fuck is this guy talking to me? Hey, Doc, I got to ask you a question that I meant to ask you while you were talking about it. If the lobster leaves his shell, how does he get a new shell? Does he go to the store and buy a shell? How does he get another shell?
It's all within you. And I believe our bodies are magical.
An actual lobster.
Yes, it actually grows it.
So you go to you steal a bigger shell?
He just produces his
How?
own shell. That's the
It
point.
has to be the-
when you're bleeding, if you
Yeah.
get a cut tomorrow,
Yeah.
okay, we know the first aid for a cut is putting a cloth or giving pressure.
Correct.
Does that really stop the bleeding? No, that
Creates a
only
scab.
stops blood loss.
Uh-huh.
What stops the bleeding is our amazing body, which creates a beautiful clot inside, a clotting mechanism. So next time you have bleeding, you don't need to panic. Take a cloth, stop the blood loss, and let your body do the
Heal itself.
I'll tell you, we're taking tablets for stress. You want dopamine? Oh, it's within. You just need to walk for 15-20 minutes, get your exercise done, do a run, dance. You'll get natural dopamine, natural serotonin. It's all within us. It's like you have a hen that can lay that golden egg, but we don't know where it is. We are doubting that we have it within us. I truly believe we have it within us. Get it out.
It's so true, because the human body, and I meant to ask you about this earlier. We grew up in a day and age where everything you needed was grown in the garden. Everything from your tulsi to your all the herbs and stuff that people used were grown in the garden. People forget how easy it is to take simple care of yourself, what you put in, how much you eat, what you eat, how much you exercise. Dopamine and stuff, aren't these the chemicals in your body that make you happy?
Absolutely. My breakfast in the morning is from papayas that are grown from a farm. My dad behind, my mom does the gardening behind, and every day I eat papayas grown at home, so I don't need to buy them from outside. So when you have things, then Goa, we have the liberty of place. We have a place to do stuff. So it's always easy, because today, sadly, everything is ripened up faster. So I've got a patient who once came to me and said, "Doctor, I've got these beautiful bananas from my farm. I've even dipped them for quick ripening and seasoning for you."
My.
And I was like, you just undid every joy I had, every bubble just burst in that way.
What a shame.
So it's everything is being treated artificially. So you've got to be careful.
I've got 4 more questions or 5 more questions. If you had to rate, what is your biggest achievement? What makes you the most proud, Doc?
I think the proudest moment is when we won the National Dance Championships, because that came up with a lot of challenges, with the amount of pain, the back issues, the effort that I had to go up, and with a lot of help with my dance partner, who was Nadia at that time. We had to go to looking for places to dance, and we had to go to church halls, and because for the waltz we needed like this huge hall to practice. You can't, it's not like the wedding waltz, it's like you're swinging a rock across the floor. So a lot of effort, and getting that win was a shout out to Nadia and Dr. Martin for all the help he's given us.
Were you not married at the time?
No, we were.
You were married at the time. You just needed a proper space.
I'm a late start person now.
Yeah? Wow. What if we've got a lot of people that listen to the show, tune into the show, and I love to do this for the simple reason that we bring forward and more awareness to topics that people would not normally talk about. If you had advice, you've got a lot of people, that impressionable people that are listening, youngsters that you're listening, what would be one good or your best piece of advice you could give to somebody young that's listening out there?
You may feel that you're stuck in a very dark tunnel sometimes, but remember, beyond the tunnel, there is always light. I've seen kids giving up too soon, kids being impatient, results you want instantly. We're hearing of young lads collapsing in workouts because they're trying to achieve a year's workout in 6 months. So I think be patient, do it scientifically, do it right. What doesn't kill you will only make you better.
Brilliant. I love that. I think that's great. It takes time, yeah? Anything you do that's worth
Just hang on there.
And that brings together something else we talk about health. Even for mental health, guys, a lot of people are struggling with mental health, and we don't talk about it because a lot of times, Doc, people are embarrassed about mental health, just like your physical and your dental, all these other things. There are people that can help you. If you're going through a tough time, there are people that you can that can help you, or you can contact. Be patient. It takes time. The storm will pass, so to speak. You know what I mean? And if there's one bit of helpful advice that I could give anybody that's going through a tough time, just like the good doctor has said, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
There's also Dr. Peter as well that helps.
Yes,
Dr. Peter Castellino.
Absolutely.
Good shout out.
I've heard of him for ages.
We've got a lot of doctors. No, we've got a lot of doctors that can help you. Listen, India is the home of the doctor. My God, we've got doctors from all around the world that have originated from here, that have traveled the world and done great things elsewhere. Doc, why don't we have more doctors stay here in India than travel, by the way, around the world? Why is everybody so quick to leave and go abroad?
Thing is, the world has opened up as far as opportunities are concerned. Earlier it was like you do well, doctor, then engineer, and you had these 2-3 professions listed out. Today an influencer can do 10 times more than what I'm earning right now. So that's what it is. So you need to be smart and work smart. So I think the job opportunities, I've got colleagues who are medicos and doing paramedical work and earning way more than what they did with their medicine. So I think it's about working smart. And that's how it goes. So even when my daughter told me she wants to do law, in fact, the story was she had even joined science. Okay, she had even joined science, and then my wife and me were having a talk, and we felt somewhere down the bubble was missing. So we made her sit and said, okay, are you happy? She said, I can do it. I said, you can do it? No. Do you want to do it? And I'll tell you, with that talk, she said, I would actually like to pursue law. Then why didn't you tell us? There was no pressure. Absolute no pressure. I called up the principal of Shraddha Mandir. She's such a gem of a lady. And Sharmila, shout out to you here. And I said, I need to get my daughter back into humanities. I got her out of science, put her into arts. She completed her high secondary in Shraddha Mandir, and now she's pursuing law, and she's so happy there.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
You need to find that lobster shell, yeah? There's a shell waiting for everybody.
It's waiting, yeah.
I love the analogy. One last thing. If we've talked about this behind the scenes. If there was one thing that you could wish in the world to change, let's talk about in Goa. What would be something that you would love to see change here in this place that we love so much in Goa?
I think we need to stop and think what we want Goa to be in the next 15 to 20 years. Because we are in an unplanned race, according to me, where we're living by the day, taking it for granted that everything is going to happen. The tourists are going to come, life is going to be good, and Goa is going to shine. But we are taking things for granted. So let's really take a pause, picture what's going to happen in 20 years in real time, and then plan in advance. I think that's what would be the call.
Brilliant advice. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Merv Britta Show. I've enjoyed this thoroughly. I can't tell you how much and how long I've wanted to get you on the show, Doc, and I'm so glad. I have to say a major, large, huge thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule between Harley riding, between dancing, between TED, your speeches, your Toastmasters. You've been an absolute pressure. I need to go to Toastmasters.
No, but the thing is, I feel that Dr. Lloyd always almost has to kick us out of his surgery because we just want to sit and have a chat for the rest of the afternoon. And I feel like tonight we could just sit and maybe have an old monk and then chat for the rest of the evening.
Such an honor, and I think it's great. Lots of smiles around, and that's the thing. Just get that curve right. Keep smiling, right?
Turn that frown upside down. What I was trying to say was it's been such a pleasure. It's been so interesting and eye-opening to have somebody to bring forth health and taking care of yourself. It's not that hard to do, and we don't take it very seriously. We take our health for granted until something bad happens. You are an absolute rock star. I wish you all the very best. God bless you. Yes.
We have some comments that's come live, if I can read them out. A viewer by the name of Maverick has said, Dr. Lloyd, how is your feeling as a father? Daughters look up to fathers as role models, and you have been an excellent role model.
I don't know about just daughters. Doc's a role model to many, but yes, he's got 2 girls. But good question. What would you say, Doc?
You know what the story is? Most of the patients, you know how mentality of patients, they ask me, who do you have? How many kids do you have? And I say, I've got 2 girls. Oh, are you trying for the 3rd one?
Oh, are you kidding?
And I was like, no, I actually wanted girls. You know, Mervyn, I had not even thought of a name of a boy. Okay, I wanted girls. I had already pre-planned the name. I knew Athena is going to be the name of the daughter if she's going to be born. And I've been so close. The most difficult time was when she was actually traveling out of Goa. And that is the time Nadia said, okay, Lloyd, you need to let her go. I tried everything to halt the process and get her to study in Goa. But I think as a role model, the daughters, and not only daughters, I think the sons also need to know that your real home in times of trouble, in times of speaking, in times of any advice needed is home. Because outside you end up getting a lot of free advice because we are afraid to come back to your parent and say you have made a mistake. My advice to my daughter is, even you have made a mistake, we are the first people you're going to come and talk to. I think that would be the message I would reach out to be. The best thing a parent can do is give confidence to your kid that no matter what you do, come and talk to us first.
Another brilliant piece of advice from the one and only Dr. Lloyd. Doc, that's so true, yeah? People are so scared to talk about things in this day and age, embarrassed, this, that, and the other. Mental health, mistakes, things that have gone wrong. Just remember your parents. Yes. And by the way, may I say, not just because you're sitting next to me, but women make this world go round. And it's such a shame that women aren't, actually, I was going to say ruling the world. We need more women in more. I swear to God, I'm telling you, women aren't a bane. They're an absolute blessing.
Thanks for that.
Not for you. Because that is so funny that somebody would say to Dr. Lloyd, oh, you're waiting for the 3rd one. Mate, you've got 2 beautiful kids, 2 beautiful girls. You don't need anything else. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, again, I wanted to say thank you for everybody that's joined, that's tuned in, and listened to us. We do this every Sunday, live. This is not recorded, so you can hear all the mistakes. You wanted to talk about Independence Day, Joanne, before we go very quickly.
Well, I was just going to say, we want to wish everybody in India and around the world a happy Independence Day on the 15th. So hopefully you can celebrate and enjoy.
15th of August, don't forget, it is Independence Day. Ajay, 100 points. You can tell me, what year did we get our independence?
1947.
It's only you that can't remember.
I can't remember that.
The 15th is also the feast of...
Sorry, 15th
is also the feast of Our Lady of Assumption.
The 15th of August?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. 100 points for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another episode of the Merv Britta Show, and I thank you again. I appreciate all the kind words, all the lovely comments. Keep them coming in. I do appreciate it that we always want to get better. We make a lot of mistakes, but I said it's a live show. We're having a good time. We want to bring awareness to things that people don't normally want to talk about. We don't have guests every week, but there are going to be topics that we want to highlight where we will bring in a specialist, something that we consider somebody very good to be able to highlight a topic and make people aware of it. That's what the whole premise of the show is.
So we're listing the topics that a lot of our listeners and viewers are actually asking us to speak about. So we'll be speaking about those in the next few weeks, and we'd love it if you want to get back in touch, and we can get you on the show live on air as well.
Leave your comments as always. Leave your comments in messages for us. We're going to read them out sooner or later. But I appreciate all the love. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to give a big thank you, a big shout out. Thank you once again to the one and only Dr. Lloyd. His clinic is in Kalangut. And if you see him out there, he's the kind of guy who would like you to say hello. So definitely say hello. Happy birthday in advance, Doc. And I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. And until next week, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.